Good evening to everybody, and welcome to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole special meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 8th, and it is 6:30 p.m. And Pat, if I could please have a roll call.
Finkler?
Here.
Hammer?
Here.
Gray?
Present.
Motive?
Present.
Reed?
Here.
Rolke?
Present.
And Steiner's excused.
And the meeting has been properly noticed. If I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Alder Finkler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then I will take a motion to convene to close session per state statute 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to review the city administrator employment agreement recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
I will move to convene to closed session per 19.851C.
Alder Motif will second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Motif. And Pat, if I could please have a roll call.
Hammer?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Motive?
Aye.
Reed? Aye. Rolke?
Aye.
Finkler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we are in closed session. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
Just in case you had any questions.
okay.
Okay, well, Jason must be. But there he is. Nobody? Okay, all right. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the Columbus Common Council regular meeting tonight of Tuesday, August 8th. And welcome to those that are streaming. And if I may, please, Pat, have a roll call.
Finkler,
Here.
Hammer,
Here.
Gray,
Present.
Motive,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Rolke,
Present.
Steiner is excused.
Okay. And if you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And tonight's meeting has been properly noticed. And may I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Alder Rolke will move to approve tonight's agenda.
Gray seconds.
We need, oh, never mind, that can wait till the next thing. I'm sorry, I was thinking we needed to make the adjustment on the consent agenda.
So I have a motion from Alder Rolke and a second from Alder Gray to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And there is no correspondence or communications. Then I would entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda with, if you notice in the operator's licenses, there was an addition
Right.
that you had received. So I would entertain a motion for approval of consent agenda.
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda with the additional operator license applicant.
Gray seconds.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motive and a second from Alder Gray to approve tonight's consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. Looking for a motion to approve the city administrator employment agreement for Lisa Wilson.
Alder Gray moves to approve the city administrator's employment agreement for Lisa Wilson.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Gray and a second from Alder Rolke to approve the city administrator employment agreement for Lisa Wilson. Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have to roll call that one?
Roll call, yes, yeah. Sorry about, thanks.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, and welcome to Lisa Wilson to our staff. Next on the agenda is to consider and take action on the Rooker-Melke bid recommendation for the 2023 street maintenance, which is base patching project.
Reed moves to award the bid for the 2023 road patching to Wolf Paving in the amount of $85,196, including the base bid and alternatives A1 and D1.
Finkler will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Reed and a second by Alder Finkler to accept the bid for the street maintenance base patching to Wolf Paving and Excavating in the amount of total contract of $85,196, which includes alternates A1 and D1. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, then may I have a roll call?
Motive,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Gray.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consider and take action on the task order 2023-04 for the 2023 Udi Dam inspection. Task order by Rupert Melke. So may I entertain a motion for that?
Alder Finkler will move to approve task order 2023-04 2023 Uday Dam inspection.
Gray seconds.
Okay, a motion by Alder Gray, or Alder Finkler, and a second by Alder Gray to approve the Rupert Melke Task Order 2023-04 for the 2023 Udi Dam inspection. Any further discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, can I have a roll call, Pat?
Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda is to consider and take action to delegate the trick-or-treat date and time to the Recreation Director.
Alder Finkler will move to delegate the trick-or-treat date and time to the Recreation Director.
Alder Motive will second.
Okay, I have a motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Motive to delegate the trick-or-treat date and time to the Recreation Director. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yay.
Congratulations, Amy.
Okay, next I would ask that consider and take action on claims in the amount of $429,939.32.
Alder Motive will make a motion to approve the claims in the amount of $429,939.32.
Alder Rolke will second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alder Motive and a second from Alder Roki to approve the claims in the amount of $429,939.32. Any discussion on any of this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Gray,
Aye.
Motive. Aye. Reed,
Aye.
Rolke,
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And now, reports, City Administrator.
You know, I have very little. We are still recruiting for the Public Works maintenance worker. Not doing very well, obviously. We haven't raised the salary to where it needs to be, so hopefully we'll get there. Working on the Public Works superintendent, for lack of a better word at this point, job description, which hopefully I can come and talk with the council on the 22nd to get that approved so we can start doing that. Working on the zoning and planning agreement so that our building inspector can work on the zoning and small zoning and planning issues until the new administrator figures out how they want to do that. It's amazing how many we do get in. It's can see where Brandon spent a lot of time in that area, so kind of seeing what he's done. So that, we're moving forward on everything, and operations are going very well. If there's any questions, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a note to read from Chief Weiner. He wasn't able to be here tonight. just has to do with the National Night Out, a big thank you. He said he would like to thank all who attended National Night Out 2023. The attendance and participation was outstanding. They served 300 hamburgers, 200 brats, 175 hot dogs, 10 pizzas, and over 1,000 bottles of water. The attendance truly showed the spirit of this community. The donations from the business community, the volunteers, participating community organizations, other city departments, and the local and area first responders working together made the event as great as it was. I want to point out that the food, drink, inflatables for the kids, and vendors we brought to the event were 100% funded with donations. No tax dollars other than wages for staff were used for this event. I consider a community event of this scope as being outreach, which you cannot put a price on. I have decided that we will hold National Night Out in the new location, which was near the Rest Haven in the beer tent area, moving forward. We learned some things to review for next year, but overall, it's much more efficient to have it there for many reasons. We've received a substantial amount of positive feedback on the location change and only a couple negative, and look forward to seeing you in 2024. I was out there along with some of the others, and it was phenomenal. I couldn't get over the crowd. It was just, it was great, just great to see. Then a note he has, crossing guards with school starting, we are looking at adding a substitute or 2 crossing guards to our roster. This would be to cover occasional shifts when the regular guards need off. Please contact Erica at Columbus Police Department Monday through Friday during business hours at the department if you are interested. And then the only other thing that I have is many thanks to the utility crews, the DPW crews, police department, and fire department for responding and addressing storm damage of the Friday, July 28th storm that rolled through. The guys worked throughout the night to get power restored. There were complaints from people, because they're out of power, but, the crews were out there all night into, I think it was 9 o'clock or 9:30 the next day, working to get things taken care of in the city. So my thanks to all of them. And with that, I look for a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
Well, second.
I have a motion from Alder Finkler and a second from Alder Modoff to adjourn. Any discussion further? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
All right. Welcome back to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole. Today is Tuesday, August 8th. Pat, if I could have a roll call.
Finkler,
Here.
Hammer,
Here.
Gray,
Present.
Motive,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Rolke,
Here.
Steiner is excused.
Okay, today's meeting has been properly noticed, and I will take a motion to approve the agenda.
Alder Modoff will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Alder Finkler will second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Alder Modoff and a second from Alder Finkler. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and I don't believe we had anybody signed up for citizens' comments this evening. Included in your packet, you will find minutes for the committees and commissions of the Columbus Utility Commission from 6:15, 6:22, and 7:10. Police and Fire Commission from 7:13, the Planning Commission from 3:29, 5:11, and the Tourism Commission from 5:1 and 6:5. Next on the agenda is to discuss the planning and zoning interim services with Vanderwall and Associates. And Chris.
Your mic.
Time by September 11th, I'll have this done there. Well, we've already back about a year ago, year and a half before Brendan started, we had an agreement with Vanderwall to do our major planning and zoning, such as if Quick Trip came in or a big building like that comes in, and checks it out. The engineer does the site plan, our, if there's any rezoning, Van der Wall would kind of review it, make recommendations, conditional use permits, things like that. So that agreement is still in place, but we thought it would be better to bring it in, just so you're all aware that we will be doing that service. So it's really the same one as last time. They do a real good job. Kyle says they do a nice job in Johnson Creek. So same person, and so does Brandon. So I'm real comfortable using Van der Wall for this. And it's not an hourly basis. It's no, we use it, pay as we use.
Anybody have any questions or concerns? Do you feel comfortable moving that forward? Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is to discuss the updated alcohol license application for Cardinal Lanes, and I do believe that Jason is here this evening, if you want to step up to the podium. And then if you just want to push the little, the face, oh, it's on, okay.
It's
good.
on? Okay, all right, perfect. Hello, I'm Jason from Cardinal Lanes. All right, so I kind of presented to you a little bit of an intro of what I would like to do, where I'd like to have a 1-year anniversary celebration, kind of to give back to the community who's been very welcoming for us. A lot of feedback from a lot of changes that we've made, and one of the things that I really have been an advocate for is becoming an identity for the community. What does that really mean? Does it mean that we're a supper club? Does it mean we're an entertainment center? Blah, blah, blah. And I really wanted to stress to the fact that we're an entertainment place. We can go bowling. We've had midget wrestling. We've had all kinds of wild and crazy events there. And I think it's really awesome that we can have something like that. So I really want to give back to the community a little bit. And would like to have some live music and some food outside just for this one day. And it was for September 30th. It's a Saturday. And I thought a lot about this, and I don't want to have anything in our parking lot because we do have a lot of vehicles that move around there. So if anything, it would be like a car show if we have enough interest in that. Otherwise, all the other activities would be in the grassy area outside of that. We do have some fencing that we can kind of block off, and I provided 2 maps only because one of them, it was really hard to write on all of them without making it look messy. So I have map A and a map B, but you see some squiggly lines that kind of go through, and that would be where our fencing would be, so no one could take any drinks out and no one could bring any drinks in. It would just be specifically within that region. So basically limiting that issue with the people walking around in the parking lot and things like that. And I also communicated with the businesses next to us. I've gotten a hold of every single one except for the hotel, strangely enough. That's the only one I'm kind of waiting on. But all the other ones are okay with it because they're all closed on Saturday. And I approached all of them about one other concern that I might have is an overflow of parking, or if people kind of wander off and walk on their property. And they're all like, so? And I was like, well, but still, I want to maintain this, I want to make sure it's safe for everyone. And they're like, well, if anything, we'll put up a barricade by the parking area, but they're all for it, and they all want to carry flyers, and it's pretty cool to see that support as well. So that was my presentation to you, was to kind of look at that and just serve drinks outside into that fenced-in area and have the music in that area, and we would also serve food in that area. And now that's pretty much it. Nothing else would be served outside of that, or allowing people to walk out and things like that. One other thing that I did, I guess I kind of planned, because I've done a Cardinal Fest type activity in Mayville. We would only serve cans of beer if we were out there, eliminating a lot of the waste and things like that. So I can also identify what I've served. And then the other option is a wristband. So that way I know that someone's come through and they're good, and they can have alcohol. So we'd have a licensed bartender there as well to check IDs. And then we also have some parking attendants there to make sure that everyone's parking and no one's running anyone over, or there's trucks taking up 2 spots or something like that. So I'm just trying to make everything nice and easy in a flow for the day. I have no idea how many people would attend this. That's the only thing. It's brand new. but I hope a lot do. I just, like I said, really want to give back to the community, and everything I'm really hearing is that they want to have some live music and some sort of finale outside before bad weather hits. So putting that together with our 1 year being open, I thought this might be a good combination. So,
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Jason? Paul?
Just one point of clarification. I have no problems with your application at all. I think very well done, actually. But my question is if you're asking for this additional space on September 30 of 2023, or every September 30, or one time annually?
so it would be one time annually. So as I keeps doing the application, I would fill it out separately.
Okay, so every year you'll come back with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would come back with another and make any adjustments as needed or feedback, yeah. Yeah,
So then your expanded space this year is September 30th only?
correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was my only question.
Okay. Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable moving this forward?
I'm excited.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is to discuss the CHLPC request to have a Facebook page. There is a request in your packet from Amy Jo Myers. Since she is not here, I can read this. CHLPC requests permission to create and maintain a Facebook page as a means to fulfill our duties as laid out in current ordinance, as well as the draft ordinance in progress, in particular the duty to work for continuing education of citizens about the historic heritage of the city and historic structures and sites. We would like to post educational information, including photos and articles on the city's historic structures and sites, and inform the public of fundraising efforts for the restoration and update of city-owned historic structures and sites. Facebook is an important means of communication and promotion in the city of Columbus, especially in the absence of a local paper. This would not be the first example of a city commission having a Facebook page. Please note Columbus, Wisconsin Cable Commission, and visit Columbus, Wisconsin, the Tourism Commission. And I do understand that they would be working with David, our media director, as well on that. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, just a quick question. Would this be one-way communication like our city sites? I'm asking, does the public get to put post on? It's just one way from the CHLPC out.
My
Do we know?
understanding with Facebook is that if it's a public page, comments have to be allowed, but not necessarily original content.
Yeah.
You can set it up so that it's notice only. I don't know what Columbus finally decided to do with it, the Facebook pages that it does officially sponsor, but you can set it up that way. That was one of my questions also.
I thought, I could be wrong, but I remember the city, or Kyle saying that the city had to accept comments. They don't necessarily have to respond, but they had to accept the comments because they're a public entity.
Go ahead.
Am I understanding the question correct, though, that we would not allow the citizens to make a post to the page? Is that one of the concerns? That's what I thought I heard. I just want to make sure, because commenting and making a post is two different things.
That's my question as well. I didn't ask that question to Amy Jo, and unfortunately she's not here, but it sounds like they would be the post originators, and then, of course, public discussion and
Can
comments.
comment. Then I'm good if that's how it is.
Alder Gray?
So I was, of course, present
Oh,
when
yeah.
they were talking about things of that nature.
My
That
apologies.
is my understanding of the intent. I'm personally okay moving it forward, and I'm sure that like Ruth or someone could be here at the next council meeting to answer our questions finally, to clarify things.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this is set up in the same way as the other organizational that you have, there should be no problem. The one thing that I'd mention, because this is a commission, they should consider dedicating and designating a custodian of their records, because that is probably not city clerk, or should not be city, it can be city clerk, but it probably should not be.
They have one. I don't know if she would be the best person
Right.
situation.
Right.
Okay. So everybody's comfortable moving this forward and somebody coming to the next meeting to answer any of those questions that may, okay. Wonderful, thank you.
Worst case scenario, I can get answers and be
Oh,
prepared to answer.
thank you, I appreciate that. All right, on to the next item for discussion, which is the fire department pickup truck. And Chief Hazeltine, do you have more information for us?
All right. Good evening. Before I get talking about this, I thought there was a question about how the trucks are maintained, paid for, that sort of stuff. So I'll just go through the trucks right now. Our heavy rescue, the newest truck we've gotten so far, that's a 2020. That's a 50/50 truck. So what we do with that is we, everything that's paid for that is split between the rural group and the city. So that's what the 50/50 means, whether it's equipment on the truck or service on it. The 2000 engine blue truck, rural engine, that's a 50/50, same thing. The brush truck is a 2001. That's a 50/50. Pickup that we're discussing is a 2007, and that's considered city. It's not in the rural budget or in the rural contract. That's got tires need to go on that this fall, and it's rusting out on the undercarriage, and the rear passenger side quarter panel is starting to rust. Then I got my vehicle, the chief's vehicle. That's a 2009. That's also a city. I got a quote from Napleton, a converter with a hybrid, from the engine to the hybrid. Every once in a while it has a hard jerk in it, and it is going to cost between $7,000 and $8,000 to replace that. So just trying to get that through. Our ladder trucks is a 1997. That's a city. So city pays for everything on that. And then the city engine is a 2007, and then we have a pumper. That's just city. So we have a pumper tanker, which we can dump water with it, haul water, or we can run with a pump because we have an engine on that. That's a rural truck, 2007. We bought that used. And then we got 2 water tenders. So all these trucks we use for everything. So some go more than others, like the heavy rescue goes a lot, the rural engine goes to everything in the country. We use it for our sprinkler line hookups on calls in the city. That's our hookup for that. The brush truck, that goes to virtually everything. The pickup truck in our discussions, yes, it pulls the trailer for the UTV, but that more so we just use for classes, for the students, for the members to go to classes. We take it to calls. We have all the hose laid out. We can't really lay that out on a truck or in a bumper. We take that truck and we load everything up on that and take it back. So it's more so used, and inspectors use that as well for inspections every day of the week. So that being said, I got the paperwork that Napleton does have the state bid. I wasn't sure what the contract we were talking about in the fleet. I was confused, but they have the state bid for it. I got the paperwork there. I talked to the rural group, and they said it's not in their budget and it's not in the contract, so they're not going to put any money towards it. And they said the contract is 2027, so they're not discussing and doing any kind of talk until then. So, and as for the lights and the controls and the lights, they were used when we put them on this truck. So I can look and see what we can, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put probably 15-year-old equipment on a brand-new vehicle. So that's right. If you got any more questions, I'd try to answer them if I can.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Are we comfortable moving this forward? Yep. Thank you. Oh, Trina? I'm
Sorry.
Trina.
No, I was just asking, so we definitely have the 45,000 in place in capital, but it might cost 10 to 15 extra?
Yeah, that's
Just asking where
47
that was gonna come from?
47.6, I think, is what the Napleton came in. Yeah, it was, I got a bid from somebody to see, because that doesn't include, we're going to have to put reflective stripe on it per NFPA, lights per NFPA, It's coming red, so we don't have to worry about painting. And then lettering on the truck, and then trying to find the best deal we can for lights and controllers. That came to, I'd seen Portage did one of their Explorers, and they went to Belco, and that's what I got from him. It was like 14,000, so that's why I put 10 to 15.
Oh, I was just asking, where was that coming from?
I was asking if we
I
could
think
add on to it.
We kind of discussed, because this was in the 2023 budget, but this is not going to be paid until 2024.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's-
it would be ended up being paid in 2024.
Yeah.
that-
You would have to, you would be required now to put in your budget 57, 13,000
Right.
at least. So that would be a commitment. By doing this, you're committing 13,000 for next budgets.
Right.
Yeah, because they told me, the first meeting I was up here, Napleton told me it's going to be first quarter best, maybe second quarter next year before I get it.
Oh.
So,
Thank you. I feel comfortable committing ahead of time. Thank you.
all right.
Alder Frank?
I think the confusion was that we were talking about the 47,000 versus the 45 before to increase it to 47, but we didn't talk about the 10 to 15,000 extra. I think that's where the confusion comes from. So, I mean, I'm still comfortable moving everything forward. Maybe we have to look at the exact pricing when it's all said and done to approve the exact price of whatever the lights and stuff are, but I think that's where.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when we went into it, it was cheaper too, but like everything else, it just went.
I would like to see the exact pricing before we approve anything.
For the lights and stuff as well, or?
For everything
Okay.
on it, so we know what we're dealing with.
Do you have light pricing for us next meeting, council meeting?
I can check with, I can see if I can talk to Belco, see if they can get me some numbers on that.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you.
And also
Oh,
include your
consent
your
first.
deduction for trade-in or whatever,
Oh, the 5,000?
yeah, or whatever you can do. So that would come off the top or
Yeah.
For what?
For the
Oh,
trade?
the
trade-in.
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 Oh, yeah, we're trading it in.
Yes, $5,000,
That's
I think.
right. I forgot that you were planning on trading in instead of selling.
Yeah.
Now I feel even more comfortable. Thank you.
So just confirming, you want some numbers for what it cost to switch everything?
Well, honestly, we already had
I'm in the
enough
sales
budget.
business too, so it's.
So with the trade-in, we already had enough in the budget that would just roll over, so we really don't need to approve the truck itself if we're trading in, because that's going to be below the $45,000. So really, all we need to approve is the lights and the badging and things like that, so we should have actual numbers for
Right.
that. Because the truck, honestly, that just rolls over, that is in budget still.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my full-time job in selling fire equipment, the price today won't necessarily be that price next summer. So I can give you a ballpark close, find out that way, but it's no guarantee it's gonna be that price by second quarter next year.
Yeah, then we just have to discuss what we're going
Yeah.
to put in the budget for it.
Yeah.
Alder Finkler?
Yeah, that was just gonna be my comment that, I would love to have the complete number too. I just don't know how possible that is if we're talking first quarter of next year. I just don't know that somebody's gonna give an estimate and have it sit till then.
Yeah.
It may be not in our favor either to do that. I mean, it could go either way. So, probably the other way, but.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next on the agenda is discussion of the code of conduct. It's been a while since we've taken a look at that. Mayor, did you have anything that you wanted to start a discussion with?
Well, I mean, myself included, just reading through everything, we just need all to be cognizant, and again, myself included, be cognizant of everybody's opportunity to speak, letting them speak. It's okay to disagree with each other on points. I mean, that's, getting to consensus is great, but, I think it's reality that we won't always get to consensus. But the big thing is that we're all civil to each other and respect each other's comments.
Thank you. Chris, did you have something you wanted to add? Your light is on, or
Oh, no, I apologize.
so I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody who wants to speak.
It's always been. It's a career failure.
No, not at all. Just want to make sure it's not a vision failure on my part. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions that they want to discuss at this point? Otherwise, this is just a review. Okay. Moving on, next item on the agenda is to discuss 2024 budget goals. I do have a note here that we have a public information meeting to be scheduled in September. It looks like the 19th at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, what?
I don't know if we scheduled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As a suggestion?
It was a suggestion, that's a regular council meeting, and if we were to start at 6 o'clock PM that night, we could schedule a public information meeting on the budget, if that would be acceptable.
I think that works. Any thoughts? Alder Gray?
Sorry, just going back to the code of conduct. So use of social media is a bit tricky with a few things. So letter H says that Section 4, letter H, when operating social media sites, council or commission members should use a disclaimer to ensure that stated views and opinions are not that of the city. A disclaimer is required when referring to work done by the city, commenting on any city-related matter, reposting it. There's quite a few things. What I'm getting at is the alders that operate said sites do not do this.
I just want to add on to that, this says personal social media sites. So I would highly recommend, and I do myself, have a Alder-specific Facebook site, not a personal site, so.
It falls into the same category. It does. You have to disclaim every single time. It's one of the reasons I told you probably should have done it.
The city does not sponsor, for lack of a better word, individual Facebook sites. If it did, then the city could then the city would be managing all of that, but it was a choice that the city did not make whenever the last time the social media policy came around. So personal social media sites is basically anything that any of you do, period. So if you have an official Alder site, that's actually good, but it still falls under this category. And if you have Molly Finkler, just individual for your family and friends, the same thing you'd fall under the same policy.
Only if you post anything related to the city.
Agreed.
Which, if you
Yes.
have two separate Facebook, it's pointless to post on your personal one.
Well,
Otherwise, you might as well just have one.
I just,
Still have to disclaim every time you post.
yes. Like him or not, Rod Malat was a very good example of this. So he did a very good job, like it or not. He actually followed
Right.
through very well.
But I would like some clarification on this, because if I make a personal picture of myself going on vacation or something like that on my personal site, I don't have to do any of this. Right, that's what I'm trying to clarify. The only thing that, and I have a Facebook, and I share a lot of information on my Alder page, and the community absolutely loves it. So I would either recommend that we modify this list to not, or modify H that you put in your bio of your Facebook profile and have it apply to everything, or we do something, because me sharing the agendas for a meeting is kind of ridiculous to have to put this in here. So I don't know what to do, but we should probably like maybe discuss this further on what we can do, because one of the things that we need to understand as a city is that social media is how a lot of people communicate, and our website is not very user-friendly, and there's a lot of people that really like trudge trying to get through I know we just did an upgrade, but really all it was look and feel. It wasn't organized any differently. I still go try to find videos out there, and it takes me to Vimeo or whatever you want to call it. So I just think that if we are trying to provide transparency and communication to the citizens of Columbus, we need to make sure that we're able to do that. And I feel very strongly about that.
May I make a comment?
Yes, of course.
Respectfully, when you post your agendas, you can post a link to the city.
Right, but I still would have to do this.
No, you just need to
This says a link.
one of these options would be to provide a link, and all you have to do that is underneath the agendas that you are posting, just provide a link to the city website that goes directly to the agendas, not just the website.
It says a disclaimer is required. That's what I'm saying. We probably need to modify that, because how is somebody sharing a link to a city website? I don't know. I guess I just don't understand what the problem with that is, because if anything changes on a city website by not the person posting that link, I don't have any ability to alter what is present within that link. That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, I can share a link instead of the agendas. I just feel very strongly that the citizens are going to be very upset, because I've been told numerous times by people that they're thankful that I am actually an alder that shares information. If it just means I link to something, then A, I want more information on the city website for our citizens, and B, I don't want to have to do a disclaimer every single time I share something on the city website.
Alder Gray?
So I think you're getting a little bit too much into what it's saying. So it's not necessarily every time you share an agenda do you have to have a disclaimer, because you're not making a statement or an opinion on anything, you're sharing an agenda. It's more of when you are making statements or sharing other information that you would need to have a disclaimer.
Well, then this needs to be reworded.
It's worded quite plainly, actually.
A disclaimer is required when providing a hyperlink to the
Stated views
city.
and opinions are not that of the city. So it has to be a stated view or opinion. It's quite clear. Posting an agenda item is not a stated view or an opinion. The problem is when you state your views and or opinions or other information, you are not using a disclaimer. It's not the agendas that are an issue. That's my 2 cents.
Probably the removal of providing a hyperlink to the city website would solve both of your concerns. Ian's reading is accurate. Molly's comment is also accurate. If all you're doing is putting a link there and you're not saying anything about it, that seems kind of odd.
And what I'm saying is I was never mentioning her adding agenda items. It's other
But those
so
words.
it's other activity, not posting an agenda
Those
item.
words
Those very different
are in
things.
here.
Yes, the words are already in there to cover you posting agenda items, is what I'm saying.
So how is this managed? Because there's lots of private groups out there also. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to,
It's self-managed.
right,
We
so,
are the people that are supposed to be managing it, and I
Right.
have mentioned this to multiple of you on multiple occasions.
so you don't break at this at all? I know we're looking at the code of conduct, so, I mean, I just think that me posting agendas and, other things I've seen on Facebook are very different. So I would like to say that I would like to know a way that I can communicate with the citizens of Columbus. And, yeah, that's all, because if we take away transparency,
It's
You're
not
gonna have
taking
more
away
people mad.
transparency, it is transparency. You just simply have to put something stating
Okay.
it's your opinion and not of the city. That's all I'm saying.
okay. As long as you agree you haven't done it either.
I don't run the Alder page.
I don't run an Alder, I was my personal page, Alder page. That's
Well,
what I'm
then
frustrated.
You're also, if you're doing it on your personal page.
No,
you're
my
also
personal
looking-
older page.
that
Because I
is
was
your
told
older
my
page.
older page is personal, so yes, I
don't
do
have
not touch anything, older related on my private, that is friends and family. So that does not apply.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't have a personal older page.
You don't,
Exactly.
but you also don't place a disclaimer. I just feel like I am being called out on something when I haven't put nasty stuff on
I didn't
Facebook.
call anyone out. You called
Okay.
yourself out. I said there
Okay.
were multiple alders.
You looked right at me.
I looked both directions.
No, you
because
looked
there are
right at me. And
This whole conversation.
Alder Reed is going to take a turn.
contrary To the code of conduct. And this council as a whole needs to start being more respectful in their comments to each other. I'm ashamed of the citizen comments we get regarding how this council behaves itself. And I would hope that everybody takes the time to read this code of conduct and think about it, rather than sit here and fight about it.
I asked for the code of conduct to be on the agenda, so yes, I 100% agree. And I am not excluding myself. I just think that it is toxic communication and it's unnecessary. That did not need to be called out in this.
All right, Reed would like to have a turn. Looking at number H. So, let's see. The last sentence for a disclaimer is required when maybe,
Are we on section 4 still?
Still same one.
yes, I'm making a suggestion. A disclaimer is required when opinions given, and then the following.
Yep,
To be
that
that
makes it more
simple.
clear.
I would like to consider adding that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Mayor Hammer?
Oh, I'm sorry. So what was the wording on that, Trina?
A disclaimer is required when opinions are given, and then we have the list.
Yep.
It should be opinion or statement.
That would work.
Can I ask for clarification on that? I'm not trying to start drama. I am, probably should have been a lawyer in one part of my life. So. So, what do you mean by statements?
A statement, when you're making a statement.
Because, am I splitting hairs here? Because it could be splitting hairs, because if a statement's made that it says, here are the agendas for next week, is that considered a statement? Okay, then I do not want a statement on there. I'm trying to avoid myself from copying and pasting like 50 times while still sharing information for people that want it.
But the information that you're sharing is available in other places
Mm-hmm.
very, very readily. And if those people don't want to take the extra 30 seconds to go find it on the city website where it already is and prominently displayed and very easy to obtain, why?
You would be shocked how many times a week I field questions on people not knowing where to find agendas. You know, and I'm just trying to be helpful, and I mean, I guess I can stop, that's fine. I
Go
just-
to the city website under agendas and minutes.
And then they're like, I can't find that. I don't know. I guess I'm just a helpful person, but that's fine. Nope, we can stop. I will not do that anymore.
Question?
Yes.
If we're even this slight of change, do we need to have everybody re-sign this then?
I don't know that you, excuse me, I don't know that you've made any change yet. If a change is made and it is, if a change is made and it is approved at a council meeting and the people who are approving the change are the ones who have already signed this, then I think you're good until the next time that it comes around. Because all your names are here. That would be my thought.
So do we need to move this forward to the next meeting for Trina's recommended change?
I think so, yes, that's my opinion. I don't know what others think.
I mean, I'm okay either way. It says the exact same thing either way. It's just saying it more clearly. And we could keep it views and opinions instead of statements and opinions. That's probably more clear and avoids the rest of the agenda.
Are we discussing also then, while we're making that change, providing a hyperlink to the city website? Is that a change that we are discussing as well? Just to be clear?
I don't think that's necessary because it's only if you're stating a view or an opinion about it. Like if you're just providing a link, you're just providing a link. If you're giving an opinion or a viewpoint on that link, then you should be making a disclaimer that you are not acting as the city, you are acting as an individual. And that's all it was ever said. I've never had an issue with the difference.
Okay. All right, so we will be moving forward with changing section 4H to say a disclaimer is required when views or opinions are given under the same set of criteria. Is that correct? And everybody is comfortable with that? Thank you. Moving on to, did we finish our discussion with the 2024 budget goals? Are we good with the 9/19 at 6 p.m.? That was the only item that I had listed there.
Sorry.
Oh,
He's
yes.
got, he's got a summary.
Yes, go ahead.
So I just wanted to, the overview on the 2024 budget is that I don't have I have my light on. Wow.
He turned it on for you.
My wingman over there, I need one. The state legislature has provided additional funds this year through shared revenue, over a couple $100,000 for our city. And one of the major reasons they did this for all cities is that the levy limits has really been hurting communities in hiring people, police, fire, whatever, public works. And a lot of communities could not keep pace with the wages either because of that, which fell behind. And I think we're in that category. And as you know, the legislature finally, there was enough pushback from not just Democrat communities, there was Republican communities were doing that too. So I think they were finally listening. So my point is, one of the budget priorities that you should consider is, what the purpose of this for, to make sure we catch up. So I think that's just a big picture thing that I want to, and we'll talk about this in more detail, what that means. But I think that's important that we first look at wages, and it's an opinion. So just so you know, that's not, it's the interim administrator's opinion only. But, the other comments is our net new construction is still 1.32%. So, our levy limit, we still have levy limits that are quite constrained, given inflation to be 3 to 4 times higher than that, right? Based on the state budget, based on our budget, we have, the city is no longer required to fund the requirements of the developers agreement for the Enerpac, which is about $195,000 number that we won't have to put in. So that helps this year. So big picture, that helps. On the other hand, last year, we used some surplus to balance the budget because of the strict levy limits imposed by the state. So there is somewhat of a structural deficit when you use surplus, as you know. So we trying to lower that this year would be a goal. How can we, so future years we can, that goes away. And the equalized value, just our economic growth went up 14%, which I thought was pretty good. TIF growth was positive as well, not substantial, but it was very good. So those are just some of the things. Council, besides the wages, as I mentioned, I think we should make sure we fund our cash capital improvements very well so that it's at a level that is sustainable, so we don't fall behind on some of that. And and I did talk about the surplus. So those are it's kind of the big picture items that, you know, there may be some little details you want to talk about for priorities. You don't have to do it this evening, but maybe at some point, let us know what you're thinking about, of what your priorities. If you want to do that now, that's fine. We'll write them down. If you want to think about it and just email us, that's fine. You know, any way you want to handle it. It's a time we're going to be giving this to the staff to begin their budget this Friday. So, you know, any advice or any direction you want to give them is, let us know either tonight or an email, whatever you prefer, to me.
Can I go?
Yes.
I would like to just say, I would like to make sure that our departments stay on track with bringing all of our employees up to a minimum of average wage pay, as per our study that we did.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is to convene to close session per 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed sessions, specifically to discuss developer's agreement for 1400 Park Avenue. And I would take a motion to convene to closed session.
Alder Motif will make a motion to convene to close session per 19851E.
I will second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Alder Motif and a second from Mayor Hammer. Pat, if I could have a roll call, please.
Hammer?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Motif? Reed?
Aye.
Rolke?
Aye.
Finkler?
Aye.
Unanimous.
We are in closed session. We will not be returning to the air tonight. Thank you, everybody.